I was asked, how do I understand my self-worth if I use the tools in the Maryland Initiative to assess that? And I think it's one of the best questions I've ever been asked, because self-worth is not an asset like a bank account. It's a state of being. And self-worth really depends on your relationship with yourself. So the good news is you're in control of your self-worth. The bad news is that we have so much societal conditioning that we often feel that we're not. I often talk about self-esteem and how I'm very opposed to that whole concept that we should pursue self-esteem because it installs an external mirror that we use to judge ourselves. I prefer, and the Maryland Initiative teaches, what I call self-acknowledgement. And self-acknowledgement is the ability to calmly assess yourself, good and bad. And that's really the first step in reestablishing a sense of perspective on what you're worth. In other words, all the criteria, all the reasons why you're supposed to have self-worth may or may not have anything to do with what you actually value. A classic example of this is people who think that having money and a lot of fancy stuff is going to make them happy because the self-esteem model tells us that that's, well, how we judge what we deserve. The fact of the matter is our self-worth is dependent on what our values are and how we apply them to ourselves. So, for example, years ago I took a meditation class, and afterwards the teacher said, when you quickly open your eyes and what's the answer to this question, what is it that you really feel would give you a sense of value? And before I could even think about it, I said, I want to help other people. So my self-worth from that moment on became defined by how much help I can give other people. Of course, it's a great idea to have something like this, but then you have another whole rabbit hole, which is who defines what helping other people is, right? And that's where the self-esteem model and the societal judgments keep kicking us, because every place we go to try to find what we really believe, we have already been conditioned to have an opinion that is convenient for someone else. That's my basic take on it. So the direct answer to this question is start at exploration of what your values are and what you value. And it's easy. Look at the people you know around you and who do you admire and who do you not admire, and compare yourself. Even though it's outside of the Maryland Initiative, you have to start somewhere. So how do you rank up against people that you really admire? And I don't mean people with big cars, though that's good too. I'm talking about values. And once you have done that, you can ask yourself, and what have I done for myself lately? Because I am another person too. And what have I done for other people? And that's a good place to start, because you're going to start to see how much you are influenced by all of the external things that you have been taught and what you see around you. So the first step to self-worth is to assess what you do when you do not believe. So if you enjoyed the conversation, please join me on social media or come to a webinar.